Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Doodle Robot and today we're going to color a picture in Hanna Karlzon's Daydreams. I have a group buddy color. I'm not the only host. There's several hosts to the group buddy color. So I am one of them. Carrie K is one of them. I want to say Maya, Color by Maya, is we're the founding members of that group. It's grown big since we switched it to Daydreams book. It's grown pretty big. So I was trying to, and this is the page that we're doing this month, July. And I was trying to think. I was looking and researching. I've seen multiple versions of this picture, and so, you know, I kind of want to do something different because when you see something that's been done over and over, it seems to like kind of go in. There's the ones with various rocks under here, which are beautifully done. Many years ago I saw various videos on people doing those rocks. They're awesome. I want to do that someday. I don't want to do it here because it's been done a lot already. I mean, if you want to follow a color along, that would be a great one to follow. But I was thinking to myself, what can I do that's different? And so I was sitting here staring at this for a long time. I was looking at lily pads in the water. Strangely, they're not the colors that are often depicted in our art pictures in our coloring books. We're very much doing kind of an idealized or stylized version of lily pads. At least I was looking at realistic photos of lily pads. And do you know that they come really big too? Like, I saw pictures of like little kids actually sitting on these ginormous lily pads. I had no idea. Growing up in the desert and living in the desert, I had no idea. I thought they were just small. But apparently they can get really huge too. So back to what I was thinking to myself, and I was looking and I'm like, oh, I could do it op art like, which would be, in my mind, there's a lot of versions of op art, but my favorite version of op art would be black and white. And so you have black and white patterns that are optically hard to look at. So I might have a big black and white checkerboard back here, and I might break these into kind of smaller checkerboards, or just color every other line black and white here. That would be very visually interesting to look at. And when you have black and white pattern on top of black and white pattern on top of black and white pattern on top of black and white pattern, it gets very visually chaotic. When the first op art shows came out, gallery shows and museum shows, people, I mean, it was a much slower time. TV was barely being introduced to the world. People actually fainted and passed out at the shows. They also have an op art version which uses very psychedelic colors, and maybe today there's even like op art of stuff that I haven't seen recently. I haven't been into art history much in the last 5 or 6 years, but that was my initial idea. And then, of course, I'm obsessed a little bit with my granulating watercolors. And so I was thinking, well, maybe I could do op art, but in kind of sort of natural colors, which is what I'm leaning towards because I like playing with these. I still don't know how some of the colors will react, like on paper and stuff like that. So, you know, it's hard to tell from a little swatch. You can't actually tell till you actually use them a few times. So I'm thinking in terms of that. So I'm thinking I'll use kind of watercolors back here in the checkerboard, and I'm not sure if the checkerboard is just, I'm leaning towards gray rose mist right now. Here's also gray rose mist, slightly different. I'm going to paint the whole thing with a color, whatever color I decide, and then I will decide what color the checkerboards will be. So we'll have, just paint the whole thing, and I don't know if I will go in there with more granulating watercolor or a black pen. Maybe it will be black and the bluish color that I'm going to use. I'll have to wait and see how it turns out. I don't know if I'm going to do 1 coat or 2 coat. I'm thinking I'm going to start out with a light coat of the color and see where that gets us. I'm just not sure yet, but I'm thinking kind of op art meets conceptual art. Conceptual art being the idea behind the piece, which I'm very much thinking about. Um, let's give some examples of conceptual art. There's a range of conceptual art. So my idea is I'm altering this piece a little bit. Not a huge amount compared to some things that I've done. But traditional conceptual artists, let's see, if we think of Marcel Duchamp, he's the guy who did kind of what he called ready-mades. He might have been the father of conceptual art. I can't even remember anymore. But he found things, looks like he found things in the trash and stuff, and he made things out of it. And so it wasn't about the visual artistry of the image, it was about the idea behind it. I'm thinking of one particular piece that we studied to death in art history, of course. I think he took a bicycle seat and handlebars and made it look like a bull. That's the one that burns in my mind from, college so long ago. But he called them ready-mades, and he was kind of one of the beginning conceptual artists. We've had many since then. I remember going to museums all over the world. I don't know where this was. I feel like I was with students, though, so it might have been in Europe. And we went into this museum, might have been in France, and it was just a whole room full of dirt. That was the whole art piece. So, like, it had a wall that was maybe 3 or 4 feet high, and then it had windows to show that the whole room was just full of dirt. So, that's that's a conceptual art piece. But you have conceptual art pieces that are painted and drawn as well. Some of them might be starting to fall more into the idea of social commentary. So, yeah. So this is what I'm doing. It's kind of concept meets op art meets, I don't know, because I don't know where we're going, and so I don't know. I'm gonna pause you and put you on time lapse, and because I've talked for 7 minutes about art history. Sorry about that. In case you don't like art history. But that's kind of where we're going. I don't really know what I'm doing. I just know that there's going to be some op stuff going on and colors. Simple use of colors, I think. All right. So I'll see you towards the end. So we have layer one or coat one of the, what was it? Gray Rose Mist, which kind of looks like this down here. And I chose that color because in a lot of the pictures I looked at, like I said, they were just real life photographs of lily pads. The water looked very dark on top in these particular photos. And I kind of wanted to emulate that. Now, some things to think about with granulating watercolor. Like I said, I haven't used them that much, so it's still, everything's always an experiment to me at this stage still. It's gorgeous. I could see this as those brick pathways, stone pathways, I guess we'd call them. It makes great stones. It, you know, when I was freshly mixed, and I can see it separating now, it didn't granulate and do the various color shifting things that they do until I got over here and it had sat a while. So I forgot about that from, you know, having previously used them before. It's been a little while since I used them. So I'm going to blow dry this a little bit. And then I'm going to do another coat of it, I think, which is going to make it pretty dark. I can still see my lines. That's good because I need those. I don't know if I'm going to do black or another color. I'm hoping to get more of the cauliflower looks, but you know, I just wanted to paint it on and see what would happen. So, like I said, it's kind of up in the air what's going to happen. I have no idea. I'm just messing around here. All right, so I'll meet you back at time lapse. Okay, so we're back. I've done the second coat. It's gorgeous. I'm not sure how much it looks like water, but like I said, this is an experiment. One of the reasons I'm doing it is I'm kind of so bored with coloring the way I've been coloring. It's time to mix it up and do, I don't know, weird creative things. When I started, I was initially thinking I would do something, you know, in the blue range, typically blue. I was considering, what is this? Turquoise Rose Mist, which would go nicely. But once I have this down, I've decided I'm going to go with Hematite Mist because, I don't know, it's just calling to me. It's so not very watery, but we're going with it anyways. I couldn't say why. We're just going to try it. I did draw in the lines and then I blew them dry because I was afraid that if I did any more I wouldn't be able to see them. I was debating if I should do a third coat, but not right now. So when I switch you to time lapse, I'm only going to do a few squares. That's just going to give you the idea, because otherwise this video will go on and on forever. I will tell you how I picked the squares that I'm going to do. So over here we have a very complicated square, so like we have 3 complicated squares here. Now I have to paint each one of these squares individually because I don't want to put tape on the paper. So I want to paint this easiest square here with the Hematite Mist. So that's going to dictate that then I paint this square, this square, this square, this square, and I'm just going to work my way around there. Don't go out of order. I can't tell you how many checkerboards I've messed up doing that since high school. So be wary of that. I'm not going to paint that one on camera because that's going to take a tiny brush and I have to go around all these little spaces. I'm just going to do some of the bigger ones on camera and then I'll switch you off and we'll come back when we're totally done with that. Alright, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so we're back. I'm done. I did 2 layers of the Hematite Mist. The first layer was very light and it was super subtle. It looked good, but I wanted it to be more in your face, more poppy, more bright. Although these are muted colors, but yeah. I have no idea if this page is going to turn out as this is like a total experiment, but I really like this checkerboard. I see a lot of granulating checkerboards in my future, I think. So I'm excited for the rest of the page to see what happens. Like I said, it's just a big old experiment. Nothing to get concerned about. So for the lily pads, I've been thinking about it, and I was thinking about mixing up 3 different colors: yellow, green mist, and I don't even know how to say that, taiga mist. But then I have decided that no, I want to see how the yellow green mist does on its own. I've always used this color and this color together with each other and other colors from other watercolor sets, and I would just like to see how it goes on its own. I can always do a second or a third layer or whatever on top of it, but I'd like to see how it reacts. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna switch you to time lapse for that. Hello, we're back. It's been a while. I went and had dinner and all kinds of stuff. So I did want to show you though that this is Dreamy Forest by Coco Wyo. I had a lot of my first two colors left over when I was done painting my checkerboard, Hematite Mist and Gray Rose Mist. I didn't use the Gray Rose Mist here because I did get another color book as well, but this is Amazon paper, and I just wanted to show that sometimes I think Amazon paper gets seriously beat up for having bad quality paper, and it's not great, but I don't think people realize that it can do everything that other paper can do. I did 2 coats of the Hematite Mist on this, and although it's a little crinkly and a little bit buckled, not as much as you would think. And I'm gonna do another coat of something on top of here. I don't know what. I'm trying to get a certain look to it, I think, that I want for the night sky here, but it's gonna take it just fine. It's not pilling or anything. So, you know, when I have extra paint like that, especially when it's the expensive kind, I like to use it like that. And I just wanted to say, like, go Amazon paper, man. You did a good job there. Having said that, and whenever I do my next haul video, I got a book from a well-known Amazon artist, well thought of. And I opened it and I looked at the paper. I felt it and I'm like, oh, something feels really weird here. Something feels off. And I compared it to some Carlo Magana books that I have and some of his other, well, one other book that I have. And it's much thicker. And suddenly this paper is much thinner. I'm like, what's going on with that? Is it him or was it just Amazon? That's what they had in the press, so that's what they used. I'm kind of concerned about that, but you'll hear more about that in my next haul video whenever I decide to make that. It's my birthday month, so I'm ordering stuff. Alright, but we are back to look at lily pads. And this is just one coat. I don't know if the camera will do it justice. I'm trying to look here sideways. I don't think the camera's doing it justice. One coat of the, what was it called? Yellow Green Mist. And yeah, it's hard to tell on my camera. It's so small. It's my phone. It's gorgeous. I don't know. I've been mixing it with other things and making a lot more work for myself, but this is beautiful. All by itself. It's rich. It's got variations of color, very subtle. I could probably do another coat. I mean, if I weren't going to mess with it some more in an op art way, which would make it richer, but gorgeous. I don't know why I was mixing all kinds of stuff with it. So I've been debating whether I want to use green mist. I don't think so. And what I've been debating between is, I don't know what this is called, Taiga mist. I don't know, or green shadows. And I think I'm going to go with green shadows because I'm going to water it down, and so it's going to be lighter. Let's look at my bigger swatches here. Green shadows is not where you can see it. Okay, there we go. Green shadows is here, and this is Taiga Mist. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. Which I think I want something more vibrant, I think. I mean, this is not a realistic picture at all. It's kind of op-ish, conceptual op-ish, whatever we're going to call it. So I think I'm going to go with that. And I'm going to paint it. I debated while I was having my dinner. I debated whether I was going to do some lines here and have kind of an organic checkerboard. But I think not. I think I'm going to do it like, I'm thinking of the op art I've seen that's kind of in this vein. It's kind of like a wavy line or an ocean wave or something like that. I think I'm just going to do every other line, and that will be enough op, I think. So I'm gonna switch it to time lapse, and we're gonna do a few of those, and then I'll do the others off camera, and we'll meet back here afterwards. Meantime, I have no idea what I'm gonna do for the flowers or the dragonflies. That is a mystery, which will be solved pretty soon. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, we're back. So let me show you what we have here. I'm a little disappointed. It's not as dynamic as I thought it would be. And by dynamic, I mean it's a striped lily pad. I know that, but the granulating watercolor, what did I choose? Green Shadows? I think it was Green Shadows. Let's check the number here. 760. Yeah, 760. Green Shadows. Did not really granulate. It just looks like kind of normal watercolor. And then, you know, the color I used before, which was Yellow Green Mist, that did granulate and look really cool. But now it's kind of covered up by all the other green stripes. So what I think I'm going to do is randomly, I think I'm going to paint. I'm going to experiment with some colors. I'm going to experiment with Turquoise Rose Mist, possibly Taiga Mist. I don't know yet. That kind of just doesn't look that different from what I just did. But we'll see. I'll get a little bit out and we'll test it. And I may also occasionally, I've got my, way over here, I've got my koi watercolors out. Oy, yikes. I've never used them. They were a retirement gift from a friend of mine. I'm gonna occasionally put a yellow stripe here and there. So probably a blue stripe, bluish stripe. Maybe we'll see how this waters down. I may or may not use that. So yeah, I'm gonna put the occasional stripe here and there. So we'll meet you back here in a second. Okay, we're back. So I'll tell you what I did. It's better than it was. I'm not super excited about it, but I don't want to be too judgy yet. I tried a bunch of things. I don't know if you can see here. Lots of things. I don't want to tilt that. But what ended up working, Taiga Mist didn't work. Green Shadows, that's what I used before. Turquoise Rose didn't work. What ended up working was almost full strength aquamarine. And I did try them and covered them up. And also the way over here, the koi yellow. Of course, I knew that was going to work. It would have almost, not really granulating, would have almost been easier just to go over it with a water-based marker. But it is interesting to note that the random placement of those two colors that I finally ended up with kind of makes the whole thing look random now instead of, you know, kind of a predictable pattern. So interesting. I now need to decide what to do with the flowers and the dragonflies. I have no earthly idea, but that's a question for tomorrow or the next day. All right, I'll see you soon. Okay, welcome back. It's been a hot minute since I was filming. So I'll tell you what I've been doing. So like I did these flowers here, not the insides, but the petals. I was using, just to outline, I was using my Ohuhu acrylic paint marker. This is, for me, it's number 6. It's kind of a fleshy tone. We'll see if we can show you that really well. I outlined all the lines with that, and it was problematic. It took forever. It wasn't fun to do. And like the ink started out, the paint started out okay, nice and strong. And then as I went on, it got weaker, weaker, weaker. I think we're going to throw this one away. I think it's pretty much out of ink. So for the last ones that I did, I think this was the last one possibly, I had to go over it with a darker acrylic paint and then just put one top coat of this on there because it was taking like 4 or 5 coats to cover the black lines. So then, to do the inside of the petal, just subtly, I kind of want them to be white, off-white color. I'm going in with an Ahuhu water-based marker. This is from the Skin Tone set. It's number 168. And I'm just doing the base of the petal basically, and then doing a little bit of sketchy here and there, and then really at the base, farther down at the base, just a second coat. And that's all there is to that. On the turned up part of the flower, I'm just doing a couple of coats like that. The petal, I should say. I don't know what the inside will be, so I'm going to go and do it on all of the rest of those flowers. I wanted you to be able to see the difference. Maybe you can, I don't know. Let me try to hold it up here. One's a bit more white, one's a bit more colored in. I like it. I'm pleasantly surprised. Now, for the dragonfly, gosh, I researched dragonflies. They come in all kinds of colors. I had no idea. I thought they came in like one color. So I just used, from the 100 pack that I have, Ahuhu water-based markers. This is number 15. 2 coats on their body. It's going to be one of those, this pink kind here, because that's a kind that apparently exists. I am working on the wings right now, and this was a trick I showed before, but I thought I'd show it here. I have watered down apple barrel matte acrylic paint here, right here. And if you can see, it just knocks, you can see the black here on the wings, it just knocks the black on their wings back a little bit. And so I'm just painting with that very watered down paint to knock it back a bit. Just one coat. And then I am going to use some shiny dragonfly glaze, aptly named. And that is a trick that I showed in another video, but I'll show it again because I'm going to try to do it so it's even more dyed. I'm basically dyeing the dragonfly glaze. It's coming out okay, I think. I'm not sure. I like everything. I'm not as crazy about the lily pads as I was hoping they would turn out. But for an experiment, I think it's coming out okay. I'm debating with myself whether or not I want to put water lines to make all this look like they're setting in water. The water should be kind of gently moving, I guess we'll say. Okay, so I'm gonna pause you. I'm gonna finish those 2. I'm gonna finish the flower. I'm gonna finish the 3 wings there, and then I'm gonna come back and show you the trick for the wings that I'm gonna do. All right, we'll see you in a second. All right, so we're back. I have finished the flower. I've put the white on the wings, and now I am rubbing the same color that I did 2 coats of on the dragonfly body. I'm rubbing a bunch of it on my palette here in hopes that this will work. I've got my dragonfly glaze. I picked gold, red, violet shift. Oh, can you see that red shift in there? Drop a little on there. It's very thick. It's too thick to paint with. And so then I'm going to add some water. We're going to stir it up. I don't know if you can see that. It's going to be very, it looks more intense than it will come out on the paper. But I've basically dyed my dragonfly glaze a little bit. We'll see how this turns out. I may go put some dots. Seems like dragonflies have like lots of jewelry dots on their wings in some photos. I don't know if they're doctored or not. Alright, so I'm going to get a brush and paint that on one wing for you, and we'll see how it looks. It's subtly pink, but it will also be shiny. I'll probably do 2 coats. As in acrylic paint, like 2 coats is kind of the standard. Alright, I'll hold that up for you. We can see if it shifts at all on camera for you. Can you see it? It's nice and subtly pink in real life. Alright, so I'm going to paint those. And I'll come back when we decide to do, you know, his little arms and his eyes and those little things in there. See you in a second. Alright, so I'm working on the, what is it called? The stamen, maybe? I'm not sure. I went with a very bright, like glow-in-the-dark orange, it seems like. But it seemed to be a couple of shades darker than this flesh color that I used on the flowers. So I liked it. It is a Tombow 803. And for the inside, to make it look like it's growing out of that area, I've got an Ohuhu marker 96. And I'm just doing kind of the, not the little raised areas. What would appear to be underneath that. This would be a good place to use the flip side, a little fine liner probably, except I don't care for that side so much. It feels like nails on a chalkboard to me. Alright, I think I got them all. That was super easy. If I wanted, I could even go in and shade towards the bottom of the little stamens, if that's what they're called. I don't even know. I don't know that I will. We'll see what happens. I'm off to look to see what I might do with the wings now of our dragonflies. So I'll be back. All right, so I'm adding a little bit of sparkle to the dragonfly wings. I'm using Uniball Silver, and gosh, I hope this was the color I was using. Yeah, this is Jelly Roll 519. And I'm just, you know how they shimmer? Just adding a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of glitter, glistening in the sunlight like they do. I like to add the pink one first because if I feel like it's I got too much somewhere, I can knock it back with the silver a little. And it works out well because the silver, where the white covered up the black lines, it's basically the same color, and then we put the sparkle over it. So they're both shiny, so they glisten. I like it. All right, so I'm going to continue to do that. I did go and shade my stamen a little bit. You can hardly tell, but it's very subtle, but I did it. And we'll be back to finish the dragonfly in just a second. All right, we're back for the last step. Yay, finally. I am going to use what is this? This is an Alt Alternatives. This is from Joann's. It's a black glitter glaze to just finish off the dragonflies. I put a little touch of white Posca around the lily pads and the flowers to suggest movement in water. Abstract though it may be, I wanted to do that. So we're just going to give him some glittery parts here. Usually I would use my black glaze pen, but I don't know. Today I'm being different. All right, we jazzed him up a bit. I'm gonna do the other one and we'll be back for the big reveal. All right, see you in a second. All right, we're back and there it is, finished. Wow, The checkerboard background turned out like better than even my dreams would have thought it would happen. However, the lily pads, not so much. But I like the background, I like the flowers, I like the dragonflies, especially their wings are awesome. And so I'd say a pretty successful experiment. My desk looks like a tornado hit it, but, you know, such is life. All right, well, I thank you for joining me. I had a great time. I hope you did too. I'll see you next time. Live long and prosper. Bye-bye.